Hello and welcome back. Welcome back to Grounding Goals. All right, so in the previous lessons, we've got pretty deep, right? I gave you some frameworks which helped you to just get a situation under control, to get into a rational state. Now, what to do? Now, what do we do from here? You have seen some of the values which comes after the I am, and now you've seen clearly how everything you consider about yourself, which you think you are, if that leads to anger and frustration, probably there is a friction, tension, there is some conflict. Means that you want to achieve something, you dream of something, but because the personal truth is an old version of what you thought you are, and maybe you are not anymore, maybe you are, maybe you're not. Quick note here, that's why it requires really so much courage. Because to doubt in a healthy way yourself and to look within and say, like, really? I thought I'm, but that... Yeah. That requires courage to put yourself on the surgery table and to like, oh, what this comes from. You know, it's like when you're mixing threads and you're making how is it called? Carpet, an old Persian carpet, and then you have, for imagining, all the threads are all white, but then there's one which is red, and it get twisted and mixed, interlaid with everything else. Now you can't just pull it off. Sometimes there's some tissues which are synthetic, you just can take one, it's like, can you take it off? But sometimes you have to, with the scissors, you have to cut, and then to piece by piece, take it off. That's a painful process. But that's what growth is, so that the growth can happen without trying to push and control, and then we go crazy, and anger is a terrible state. We're not creative. We can't think clearly. Our relationships are and damaged, and we create damage to ourselves, our health. Your stomach you're gonna get ulcer. You have headaches. You're tired because you're angry. That's not what you want. So that's why it's the only argument I might have here before we move to lesson number 4. Whatever you think you are, whatever I think I am, if that serves me and helps me to grow, amazing. But if it doesn't, then probably it's time to look closer and see, probably I'm not such a perfectionist as I thought I am. Probably I am. If that serves you, if you work at NASA and you like being a perfectionist and that serves the purpose, keep it going. But if it doesn't require, but you just get attached to that identity, I'm a perfectionist, but it doesn't serve and you don't need it, but you just like to feel about yourself that way, probably what? Let's see in this next lesson, grounding goals. So let's set some goals. What do we do? Where would we go now from here? We don't see things as they are. We see things as we are. Now we have met ourselves through the lens of introspection and the interpretation we assign to what happens within us. So far, so good. But what about the great alignment and the great conflict? You might say, I understood the wrong conflict, but some things are just unacceptable and need adjustment. It's not me, it's them. Sometimes it's right. Remember, I mentioned before, it's not about right and wrong, but about the right way and the wrong way. Well, in this lesson, we need to be a little more philosophical. What is right and what is wrong? Yes, there are some things that are simply morally right and morally wrong. For example, gossiping with your colleagues or friends is unacceptable. That is right. It's right that it is unacceptable. You might inform someone once or maybe twice, after which you should take the necessary steps to adjust the situation, right? Hey, that ain't right. You just are not allowed to do this in our company, in your life. Or somebody talking to you, gossiping about your friend. This is the right way. The wrong way is to engage in gossiping and then try to justify or judge the wrong side. So let me gossip with you, but then I will push you on the, no, it doesn't work that way. They're going to grab you into their corner and you're going to find yourself even more confused than before. Now you're in deep waters. Anger will be squeezed out of you. You'll be provoking it. It will get the worst out of you. Even if you are prepared not to experience it or to feel it, but you are humans. Challenging our weaknesses is a wise endeavor. Teasing them for the sake of ego entertainment is a foolish endeavor. Or as a wise person once just said, just because you can win over the devil doesn't mean you should dance with him. All right? So, what goals should we set for ourselves? What you have seen in the previous section is what I've seen in the I am section of the previous exercise, in the previous lesson. That is a choice expressed through a belief. Everything that follows I am is a choice. I am very like this. I am very like that. You might say, that's not everything a choice. True. Some part of our temperament is part of our personality. Some of them were choices at a certain point in our life, but they're not choices anymore. Probably yes, probably not. Some things are still flexible. If you're an introvert or extrovert, probably that ain't going to change. But if you're an introvert, but you find something which you're very interested and passionate about, in that context, you're going to be very extroverted. So you see, there are some ways around it. Why are we talking about this? Because whatever is in the I am section or column can be categorized in three big domains. Here's the page where you want to look in the workbook, this workbook here. So our beliefs of who I think I am are driven by our personal truth. Our personal truth is driven by our self-image. So what does it mean? Self-image drives the drive, and the drive drives the belief. If you see yourself as a fit person, for example, you go to the gym and that's the self-image. I see myself as a fit individual. Then you're driven to go to the gym more often. You're driven because I'm the fit one. I'm the gym rat, you know? So if the image is I am a gym rat, you're driven to stay in shape. And when you're driven to stay in shape, you also have the belief. The belief which is, you might have 45 minutes, but the belief is you can do it. Why? Because you're driven by it. And when you're driven, the belief changes. You see, so beliefs are conditioned by our drives, and the drives are conditioned by our self-image. If we were told that we are idiots or stupids from the childhood, that's the self-image, and we're driven to hide. And when we're driven to hide, we form more beliefs that we are inadequate and everybody else is better than us. Quickly, for example, our self-image is made up of three big domains: the dreamer, the critic, and the realist. So imagine it about this way: all those identity or personal truths about who you are, they can be categorized in these parts here: the dreamer, the realist, and the critic. Why is this so important? It is important because we want to understand that some beliefs were in the dreamer domain. We have a dreamer within ourselves, and we sometimes confuse them as the reality, where we have something real, but we put it in the dreamer. It's real, it could be real, and I have admitted the existence of this identity. I'm a singer. But I moved it into the dreamer. Yeah, probably it's not real for me. You know, so some beliefs about our identity move and transition and migrated from one domain to another during the years. And something which was real for us, maybe you're a great detail-oriented person. You know, I'm the detail person. If it moved into the critic, if you were criticized constantly because you were that way, you start to critique yourself so much because I know I'm a detail person, but that's not good in life. Because we were told and something happened and it moved. For example, let's take a belief. I believe everybody is a great person. Just let's take this belief. Maybe you have it, maybe you don't. The domain is the dreamer. Because it is there. Why? Because you probably have also the belief that not everybody is a great person. Or do you? I don't know. Let's see. Event, something happens. Monica is late. Effect, the belief is challenged. Oh my God, not everybody's nice. Monica was late. So you have the alignment which is missing, the conflict between the belief and the thought. Emotion, anger. So you see, one belief, I believe everybody's a great person. Let's focus on this one. If you have this belief that everybody's a great person, sooner or later you'll be challenged because not everybody is a great person. Some people are not so great. Everybody has greatness for sure. But my personal belief is that not everybody is a great person. There are psychopaths, there are other type of people. So I personally, I don't know about you, I don't believe everybody's a great person. If you're an adult, you probably, I hope you know that. But let's imagine what kind of person would be if somebody would think that everybody's a great person. Would be a dreamer, a romantic, that everybody is a great person. Oh my gosh, and they trust everybody, and then they're challenged, and they're like, oh my God, I've been betrayed. Well, you have the belief that everybody's a great person. That will come with some consequences. What's the point of this exercise? Just map your inner kingdom in these three inner empire in these three kingdoms: the realist, the dreamer, and the critic. So you have to make sure now you go back to the lesson number 3 and see what of your identities are actually realist, which of them are just because there is a nagging voice is the critic kingdom of ourselves. We all have a critic inside somebody's empire. The critic has a big voice, a big mouth, and somebody's inner empire, the critic has a small voice and never critique themselves like me, bad like me. I didn't do that. They're always perfect. And there's the dreamer. Now, if this is true for you, you can read the other examples also, so we don't stop here too much. If this is true for you, it means that is true for others. Where are we getting there? We are here to solve the anger problem. Why am I talking about this? Because anger, you remember, it's a surface thing. It's always at the surface. It's the earthquake. The waves are the process, how we deal, what we have learned until today to do, to react, to protect, to deny, to jump, to save, to yell, to protect and defend something. Those are the waves, but at the core, there is where you have to look. Who do you think you are? And to make sure those values keep serving you. And just by make sure they are keep serving you, it's complicated. But with this framework of, is this something I'm just wishful thinking? Is this something it's actually real? Is because I've got 15 years of experience and I know this is real. Not that. I thought 20 years ago that everybody's a great person. But now let's look realistically at it. I thought I can read a book every day. Now, that was my ego telling me that. I can't read a book a day. It's just not me because I just said, I'm a detailed person. Talking about me because I would like to talk to you. If you want to jump on a one-on-one call, do that and we'll talk about you. So I'm a detailed person, which is true. I like the details. I like to observe details. And because I believe I'm so, but I'm also good at it, so I embrace it and I say, okay, good. Be in, welcome in, be part of my empire. I'm a detailed person. Okay, good. Does it serve me? Yes. But if I thought I'm a detailed person, but actually I'm not a detail-oriented person, I might force myself to be a detail-oriented person, but actually I'm not. Maybe you're a good communicator. Maybe you're a good leader. You don't have to go into the managing stuff. Or maybe you're a good manager. And you actually enjoy managing things rather than leading things. Maybe you're a good creator, you're a painter, maybe you're something else. Maybe you have to acquire some skills which naturally you can develop them so much faster, so much better, which is so much painful for others. So you see, readjusting this empire within ourselves and embracing the gifts we were given helps us to be more aligned with ourselves and understand, wait a second. I'm just critiquing myself, but actually it's good. Realistically, I'm good at it. Or I can do better. So we can do the reading here. There's a little bit more. Let's look through the 4 questions before we move to the next one, evaluate and extract. What to evaluate and extract, we're going to evaluate a little bit more in detail while we're going up. Because while you're going up, you'll have to do some work to practice. And while you are practicing and applying it, you'll be kept being triggered. And that's not going to be easy. So I'm going to empower you even more in the next lesson. So here are the grounding goals, is to understand, after you've been through the lesson number 3, you've done the I am column, How does that lead to shame, fear, and hate? Okay, honestly, that's what it is. We all have those toilet rooms in our psyche. Good. Now we are grounding goals. Now we have to organize them and see, okay, I want to move this to that. I don't want to be a dreamer anymore. I want to move this belief because actually I thought I can, but actually I can. So I moved that identity into the realistic rather than being afraid of it. Fear, you see, and if we could have a one-on-one conversation, that would be a much easier task to do, because some things we might be afraid of our own success, we might be afraid of our own growth, and because we are afraid of that, we protect it, we get projected, triggered, and we get angry. But actually, maybe it's an identity of who you are, which stays in the dreamer, but he's got to move into the realist, and you have to start to do it because it's doable, it's possible. The 4 questions I want to draw your attention are. Question: what am I believing as I'm having these thoughts? Are these beliefs grounded in evidence, or are they simply habitual? Step 3: are they contributing to my growth, or are they just reinforcing one of the 3 areas mentioned earlier? Step number 4: do I deserve better? Absolutely. What belief should I adopt that will foster my growth and enable me to build the quality of life I deserve, you deserve? So now it's time to reinstall something new. So turn out the page, the last page in the lesson number 4. Let's take on a belief. People deserve multiple chances. Evidence, what was the origin comes from. Now we're dealing with the who am I. It happened maybe that I once lost a precious team member, hence my fear of losing others. And that fear triggers anger. Because sometimes somebody, maybe in your team or a colleague, and you as a business owner, as a leader, and somebody comes and say, I'm struggling with this, and they're just communicating. They are struggling with the task you've given them. But if you lost and you're somebody precious in your team and you're afraid, what is that? Fear that you're going to lose this team member now. Boom, anger, because gosh, this one is going to leave again too. Everybody's leaving me. Boom, identity, everybody's leaving me. Is this true? No. So what is the new belief which will serve you to communicate, to interact, to understand, and to move things forward? People might deserve multiple chances, but not an infinite number of times. Oh, this is a realistic belief. Yes, people might deserve multiple chances, 2 or 3 or 4, according to your personality and your situation. I can't tell you how many. But that would be a more reasonable belief, not a belief that everybody deserves multiple chances. Or maybe you're on the other side. Nobody deserves a second chance. Then people are leaving, then you build a reputation, people don't want to work for you, they're walking on eggshells around you, your friends, your partners, your investors, your family members, and then you're like, oh my God, my life sucks. Your life doesn't suck. We sometimes just push people away because at the core, our personal truth, our beliefs, are saying that this is so, that is so. So now, right now, you have the possibility to turn your life around. And not only to avoid getting angry at stuff, and to manage it, and to go through it, and to understand where it comes from. This is the turning point moment where you look at your beliefs and you have to look close within you and say, who told me first, since when I have this belief? It's time to let it go. And to install a new one. What is a new one? Even if you can't understand it, even if you don't like it, but if it's a belief which would serve you to grow, reinstall it. You'll write it down, you'll have it in front of you, and that is growth, my friends. This is growth. When you organize things, we understand, we go deep, we set goals, we do it, we act upon it. And now when it comes to do the work, now you're going to do this work and you'll see the evidence. You'll find somebody or someone, or maybe you, for the first time going through a failure. You told that to yourself and it became your personal truth. Now it's time to clean that mess up. I know, but the more you allow yourself to do this kind of work, the much easier you'll get through it, and it will change your life. That's one. Two, it will change all the opportunities you have because you'll start to understand people differently. You'll understand that they have the same thing. And rather than getting angry, you're going to deal with their beliefs and their thoughts. So when you see that there is a miscommunication and people, somebody just doesn't get it, you're going to ask them things. Hey, but do you believe being late 30 minutes every day is a right thing or a wrong thing? They say like, oh, I don't think that's a problem. Okay, good. Now you have a belief understanding, which is different than yours. So I was like, okay, buddy, look, I got a message for you. Look, this is how it works in our company. And I want you down in our team, but these are the things. This is okay, this is not okay. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, now we know. Good. Look, when you say this, that's how people interpret it. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, now we know. So you know, and if you don't get angry, you can deal with their beliefs. So you question their beliefs. Hey, do you think this is right? Do you think this is right? Do you think this is right? Okay, wrong, right. Good. You examine their beliefs. Do you think when you do this? Do you think when you do that? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? What if somebody did that to you? How do you think? Okay, and you see maybe they're struggling with the thinking. Okay, good. That's how we think here. That's what we suggest. Are you in or are you out? So rather than boiling, getting angry, and not saying what you have to say, not asking what you have to ask, you can do that because now you understand you. Now you can understand others. And when you understand others, boom, you can say what the words which are going to reach that soil so that you can bring that message across. Now they understood. You know for sure what they have understood. Because you asked them, that's what you understood? Yes, that's what I understood. Okay, perfect. Good. Now we're tracking. Good. Now we've got 2 chances. All right? Because that's the culture here in our team. Well, the same thing you do with yourself. The same thing you do with yourself. That's what I thought. Do I believe this thought? Am I flirting with this thought? Is a thought which is rooted in some fear and hate? What do I actually hate? What am I actually afraid of? I'm afraid that if I don't do this now thing, I will never accomplish it and it will be late and tomorrow I won't be ready. Oh my God, whoa, wait a second. You just believe you'll fail tomorrow. You have an exam or you have a meeting where you just have 20 tasks tomorrow, and you have this belief that you'll always miss the deadline. So that's the belief. So wait a second, let's see, is this true or not? Why am I thinking this way? Okay, let's stop a little bit. That's not true. I don't believe this. I'm going to reinstall a new belief. All right, good. So that's how we get to the great alignment. Lesson number 5 is a great one. Now we have to extract the lessons while we are building up. Now you know where to look. You have some work to do now. You're reinstalling now. You've reorganized. Now you're reinstalling new beliefs. And now we're going to apply and act upon those beliefs. But while we are acting upon these new beliefs, there are going to be some surprises along the way. How to deal with those surprises so that we successfully reinvent ourselves. Let's discover it in the next lesson. Thank you for your attention. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.